Recorded. Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. Again, like I mentioned earlier, this is our last two with our final session. Our grand finale is on the 18th, which is on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, we have exceeded more than 100. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up only for first come, first serve. NTW, some of the TPs are still going to offer till end of the month. So please check. But for MAPS, our last session is on the 18th. The peak NTW is 14 to 21st. All right. This is just for MAPS. Okay. Because we started earlier. Why we started earlier is because we wanted participants to have more options of attending more programs. Because we learned from last year that when we also provided courses during that peak week, I think one of you, Effendi or who, actually overlapped. He was enrolled for 8 programs at one go. So everything like overlap, like very cacah merbah lah. Okay. So that's why we started early at the beginning of June on the 2nd. But we ended it on the 18th. So this will give you guys more choices and also more opportunities to get more programs, all right, throughout the month. Actually, there are still some training providers who will be offering till month end. So please check in the NTW website that programs that be running till end of the month. Okay. All right, guys. All right. So today's topic is about how to lead with emotional intelligence in hospitality. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the everything else, all the 5 pillars. All right, under the hospitality. Then I will put in a slot where we go through the 5 pillars by understanding different generation. That means how we can apply emotional intelligence for to bridge generation gap on all the 5 pillars. Okay, we'll do that as well, but we go through the slide first, yeah? All right. Okay, so Peggy is in. Hi, Peggy. How's Johor? Okay, can I have a temperature check? Can you please share in the chat box if you are using mobile type 1, if you are using a laptop or any other devices type 2? 1 or 2? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, keep it going. Next question. Tell me which industry are you in? I rasa most of you are, I'm quite familiar with you guys, but there's also newcomers. All right. Okay, share with me which industry. All right, Desarukos, welcome. Next question. Tell me what's the weather like in your area. Okay, Taipei hujan. Nitya, which resort are you in? Okay, okay. Mine hujan lah. Cool after night. Oh, that's nice. Because it's really hot, you know. I don't know. You guys by the sea. Mangala Estate, isn't it Maldives? Or is it Pahang? Nitya. Kuantan. Oh, okay. One of your HR actually contacted me. Okay, can you PM me later? I need to find out some information. I can't remember her name. She actually sent me DM on LinkedIn. All right, Kuantan. Oh, I saw your place, Mangala Estate is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, so Nitya, you're very lucky. Okay, Ipoh clear. All right, anywhere else? Anywhere else? Anywhere else? Finish already at Penang. Chandra, what do you do? Ya, Penang. So that means sana hujan dulu lah, dia bawa ke sini. There's one thing about taking flight from Penang. When I used to work in Langkawi, I will take the first flight, Penang to Langkawi, which is like, you tak sempat buckle up, you already landed anyway. About 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you already landed at Minside. Okay. Basically, there's something about the weather going up from the island, you know, like some days can be horrified. As soon as they fly out lah, tiba-tiba like don't know where the rebirth come from, you know, like you're trapped in kita mula lah, you know, I'm the sort of person like overthink kan, tengok oh ni Bermuda Triangle. And sometimes coming in from Langkawi, everything is sunny. Masuk je the island lah, island, the Penang Island lah, tiba-tiba it's really dark, it's thunderstorm, you get turbulence and all. I just don't know what Penang is lah, okay, but yeah, so that's Penang ah. Alright, I study in Penang by the way. All right, okay, let's move on. Those who have just joined in, please make sure you scan QR, the attendant, you get another one, the next slide. And also, I've shared the link in the chat box, okay? Now, let's look at the overview of the whole program tonight. Please bear with me, we'll be about 1.5 hours as usual. We're gonna have some games. And like I mentioned earlier, we're gonna do this in the hospitality setting. After Kahoot probably, we will try to apply on how to use these 5 pillars of emotional intelligence against bridging the generational gap, right? Tell me how we bridge from Gen X, Gen Y, Millennial, Gen Z, and whatever not, okay? Each of the pillars, yeah? I hope that will help everyone from all other industries as well. Module 3, the ending one, please have at least pen and paper just to, you know, to note your action plan moving forward after this session. All right. Okay. All right. So this is an overview of the program today, how to deal with emotional intelligence in hospitality, in the service industry. Bungkus kau-kau ada tak tonight? All right. So connect, empathize, and also inspire. Okay. All right. So why emotional intelligence matters? Okay. Remember when we did previously empathy. What is empathy? Can you guys type in the chat box? I mentioned 2 words for empathy. What is it? Anyone remember? Okay. Anyone? All right. Empathy is, I would simplify everything as human connection. But what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is what? Self-connection. Okay. Empathy is human connection, whereas emotional intelligence is self-connection. It is how you bring your inner outwards, yeah? Yes, also sharing emotions. Okay? So I stands with self and flow outwards. You work within yourself first, okay? All right. This is one of the strongest leadership traits. Okay, so hospitality, especially the service industry, we thrives on human connection. So when you work on your EI, so emotional intelligence, it will enhances your leadership, your service quality, and also your team morale. You know that some days in the hospital, I think you tengok video online kan, you have guests shouting at the reception, at the counter, you know, picking out a fight. I think at the airport, I guess you have seen videos where there's this China tourist was like slapping the ground staff because of something, so these are the challenges that we have, especially in the service industry. I think FMB also have similar sort of challenges. If you're doing MICE, all right, Durian case, a case study, okay, interesting. All right, and also when you're doing MICE event, there are also challenges because sometimes exhibitors they participate, but sometimes they don't want to follow the rules. They just want to do things their way, but which is cannot, because when you are at some venue, there are certain policies that you want that you need to follow. Okay, so these are the challenges when you are in the service industry. All right. Okay, this course focus is to manage your emotion because we are working within self. All right, within self, there's a lot of work we need to do because as we grow, dari kita kecil kan, and then we go into our teenage years, and then we go into our a young graduate, everything at each phase there just changes within us, right? So to become a leader, you need to start to connect with yourself. Then only you can actually move outwards, giving out whatever energy that you want to, especially when you become leaders. What sort of energy that you want to give out to your team or to your guests or to your customer, your client, whatever not. Okay. So this 1 hour and a half will focus on managing your emotions and those of your team. Because at the end of the day, we want to foster a positive work environment. You know, the younger generation, they're looking at a very harmonious and positive work environment for them to work in, right? All right, audience benefit is we'll have some practical tools that we will share. So I need you guys to do this exercise to reduce stress and improve guest interaction. Okay, those who joined me in the last session, have you done your Johari window or not? Anyone, have you guys done your Johari window? That is also working within self. Share with me in the chat box. Anyone work on the Johari window or not? If you have, type yes. If not, you just type no. If you're not around, just say X. Right? Haven't tried, okay? Anyone tried? I'm curious. Just try. How is it, Kaulishi? X, okay. And X. Okay, paten tak. Okay, yeah, X. So, okay. I will try to share in this when I send an email later with a slide and all, I will share Johari window. Yes, you can ask, the fill in the blank is what you do, but you send that whole words, all the words, you ask your friend to actually select 5 words that describe about you, because you want them to assess you, but do it sincerely and honestly lah. Okay, for those yang X2, I will share again in the email that we'll send tonight. Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is a little bit about me. I'm a hospitality trainer. I do leadership as well, especially in the hospitality industry, but more of the supervisory and above. All right. And I'm also the founder of MAPS Training and Consultancy Services. My area of expertise, the very, very niche I do is housekeeping. I do customer service as well and team development. So I do team building as well, yeah? Okay. Customer service, when there's specific requirement from guests, okay, from my client, yeah? But all out, I will do housekeeping, all right? This is like underserved market. All right, so let's look at our learning agenda, okay? So first, what we're going to do is we are going to look at the emotional intelligence foundation. I mean, understanding the emotional intelligence. What is it? Okay. We're going to look at Daniel Coleman's framework, all the 5 pillars, yeah. And then we will apply. Okay, when we apply, we will do the hospitality trait first. And then maybe after Kahoot, we will go into how you can apply this into bridging the gap, the generation gap within your workforce or within your team, all right? Last but not least, I need your participation here for the action plan. Moving forward, what is it that you plan to do? Okay, which area that you want to improve or which area that you feel you're already there and you want to add on maybe another pillar into your day-to-day stuff, right? So let's look at module 1. Understanding emotional intelligence. So what is EI? All right, definition and relevance in the hospitality industry. And then Daniel Goleman's EI model overview. So Daniel Goleman is the guy who created this thing, right? Okay, he researched and he came up with 5 pillars, which is self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and also social skills. All right, and then we're going to look at overall of 5 pillars of emotional intelligence and understand what each one's refer to, yeah? All right. So what is emotional intelligence? Just now, Dina said sharing emotion, okay. Kolishi said the harmony to others, all right. All right, okay, itu je. Mana ada durian. All right, anyone else want to add? What is emotional intelligence? Anyone else wants to add? what is emotional intelligence? Okay. For me, easily I would say it's self-connection. Okay, connect with yourself. All right, and working from inside and out. All right, it's easier to self-regulate later. Okay. So let's look at the slide. Definition of EI is ability to perceive, understand, and manage emotions in oneself and also others. Okay. We know that these days, everything can get viral so fast. The moment your tone of voice naik sikit ya, people start recording you. The moment you show the angry face that you're going to eat someone, people start to viral you. Okay, it could be anywhere lah, on TikTok, and suddenly you become memes. Alright, so the ability to control that within you, knowing your apa nama trigger points, that will help a lot. Alright, especially in this era where everything can go out very fast to the world. Okay, so the impact of EI in leadership is that talent, one of the company, a research company, they actually did research, Talent Smart. So they said that nearly 60% of performance in all job types actually accounted for EI. EI. So EI predicts 58% of job success, and it is also a stronger predictor than IQ, because IQ is still maintained as stagnant, tak move, right? But emotional intelligence is increasingly become one of the importance towards high performance, especially team performance. Right, and you know that when you work within yourself, the inside out, right? These are something that can be done, okay? And it is something that you can develop over time, right? Okay, industry relevant. All right, so service relies on emotional labor, betul tak? If you guys have, I had one post recently about emotional labor, right? So service relies a lot on emotional labor. Then we do have guests yang datang who are very, very emotional for some weirdest reason in the world. Okay, so as a service provider, we have to face that. All right. I don't know why, but I feel that post COVID, there's a lot more of unhappy people in the world. They have lack of respect. They're just, we want to spread kindness, but they're just not. They treat others badly, especially the hotel staff. Like waiter, housekeeping staff, people of the lower rank. And EI, enhance guest satisfaction and also team cohesion. Okay, we want to be able to do more. We want to be able to be in control, right? Especially in this industry where everything is not just moving fast, but everything will just happen within like split second. A lot of things can go wrong. Okay, but to be ready emotionally, not just physically, but emotionally, to be ready for that as well. Okay. All right, here are the 5 pillars of emotional intelligence. This is based on Daniel Goleman. He's one of the foremost researchers on emotional intelligence. Okay, he came out with 5 pillars, and they are self-awareness, all right? Number 2, self-regulation. Number 3 is motivation. Number 4 is empathy. Number 5 is social skill. All right, now let's go and deep dive into each of these pillars. When you talk about self-awareness, right, it is about recognizing your emotions and also how they affect your thoughts and behavior. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. At your workplace, right, do you have that one person that when they speak to you, it will make your blood pressure naik, it will make everything boiling inside you that you're ready to explode? Do you have that sort of person or not within your team? Yes or no? Have kan? Oh, kena ni sakit jantung. So what do you guys do? Nak avoid tak boleh kan? Especially you need to manage them, right? So it's like nightmare. Okay. So of course ada kan, alright. So sometimes you see the face already you already like macam pressure cooker tau, nak meletup lah kan, alright. So you need to recognize your emotion. If you have these people around you that make you explode, try to detach and stay away. But if you manage them kan, first you need to manage yourself. Yes, I have that sort of people. When they talk somehow, no matter how hard I breathe, no matter how hard I try to suppress the emotion, dia macam suka trigger tau. I don't know. There's just a button that they start poking on you with their words, you know. So orang macam ni yang very challenging. Okay. And I'm a sort of person who have very uh, high stress. I boleh control stress and very high patience. Try, yeah, that's a good one. Try to run pura-pura busy. Sekarang tengok, alamak, dah pergi toilet. Okay, yeah. Sometimes it's good to avoid lah. I mean, if you don't have any thing to do with a person, stay away lah, okay? Don't let anyone ruin your day, okay? Right? So that is self-awareness. That means you guys recognize your emotion and how that affect your thoughts and behavior, okay? So that's good, all right? Congratulations. All right, now let's look at self-regulation. Managing disruptive emotion and impulses in high-pressure hospitality scenarios. When you talk about hospitality and hotel guests, sometimes for some odd reason, they will just come and shout and scream at you. Sometimes ada reason lah, they want, okay, understood lah. But it is also how behind that counter, how we respond to them. If we start with a defensive note, that will become all hell break loose. I keep saying this many times, right? But it's how the choice of words that you use, the tone, the pace, your body language, everything has to come into the picture, and also the right timing. Okay, so that requires self-regulation, how you manage disruptive emotions. I want to ask you guys, if let's say you were driving, right? This one happened to I saw on the road lah when I was traveling back from Slim River to Taiping. At the highway, you know, after the Menora punya terowong kan dia curve like that turun bukit sikit kan. And then there was this motorbike lah. You know, I think they have macam family day kot. They were like really speeding, you know. Speeding on the left side is okay, but speeding in the middle, suddenly they just pass us, you know, like very fast. And then tiba-tiba the next minute we saw they're already on the ground. And then they start blaming the car, you know. None of us are able to move because it's just like really bad jam and we are hardly moving. And then tiba-tiba he's like taking a fight. So sometimes these are the situation that will, you know, that will either make you like shaky, that either will make you you know, end up with this disruptive emotions. Okay, because people are just poking and making you going really mad. Okay. All right. So motivation, harnessing emotions to pursue goals with energy and persistence. Motivation also is very important. Yeah. Another pillar number 4 is empathy. Remember, I say empathy is human connection. Right. So understanding others' emotion, which is a foundation of a guest-centered service. And last but not least is social skills. All right, social skill is managing relationships and building networks to lead teams effectively. Kalau you tengok all these 5, social skill is the only one that is visible. Yeah, you actually nampak you are doing it. Okay, managing relationship and also building the network. All right, we'll go in depth later. Okay, so mastering these domains, these 5 pillars, will be the foundation of emotional intelligent leadership. Right, and in the hospitality setting or in the service setting, these pillars will show up everywhere. It could be from managing personal stress during a fully booked evening. Sometimes fully booked can happen, you actually have enough rooms, probably extra room. Suddenly, new arrival datang, aircon breakdown for some odd reasons. Something just happened that you need to close up those rooms. That's when sometimes you are not fully booked, tiba-tiba jadi fully booked. But there are also errors where sometimes they forgot to close the OTA, like Agoda, Expedia, they forgot to close the allotment, where suddenly people just start booking 5 rooms straight. Dia tak sempat nak tutup, that one become fully booked as well. Alright, so all these kalau tak manage earlier, it will lead to guest complaint lah. Alright, and how we're going to deal with that? With grace and empathy. Okay. Alright, detailed customer complaint, we'll do it on the 18th, yeah, our last session. Alright, so applying the 5 pillars, how we're going to turn EI concept into daily practice. Okay, self-awareness in action. For example, Maitre D recognize rising frustration during peak dinner. Okay. Maitre D ni lebih kurang macam hostess lah. Alright. So rising frustration during peak dinner rush and uses grounding technique. Grounding technique is when they tackle them themselves by breathing, reset, and then start to tackle the problems. Okay. So having a breather is also good, right? So it helps you to calm down, temperature bagi turun, and then you go for the rush. Okay. Self-regulation on display. For example, if there's hotel overbooking, how a hotel manager handle it calmly, secara tenang, and this will set the tone for staff on professionalism. Because kalau the hotel manager start putting blame, start pointing fingers, then it will create chaos. Okay, things already happen, right? Just find ways to resolve the problem instead of facing other problems. Okay, and empathy that resonates. So, for example, a concierge listens attentively to a guest's emotional concern and and they offer personalized care. All right, so this is empathy that we can apply into the daily practice. You can also apply this in your day-to-day engagement. It could be with your work colleagues, it could be with your department, with your team. Maybe you're working on a project when you have people cross-department, having sit into that team, people coming from different background, different thoughts, different ideas, and they start bickering, not having respect, thinking we are better than the other. So all these issues that if we do not tackle at the beginning, you will not have an ending to it. Okay. All right. Is there any questions in module 1? You know already 5 pillars, yeah? What is it? What are the 5 pillars, guys? Self-awareness. Ada orang kat tangan? Oh, is it? Any question? Okay, what are the 5 pillars, guys? Can you type in the chat box? Yeah, motivation, self-regulation, empathy, and thank you. No, Afifah. Lagi? Ada 3 dah. Lagi 2. 2 more, guys. 2 more, 2 more, 2 more. Self-awareness. Last one. Apa dia last one? Social skills, Yes, motivation, social skill. All right. Okay, done. All right. In module 2, we're going to look at each of those pillars, each of that sections, and we try to apply to the real world hospitality example or the service industry. And then please get your fingers ready to chat and also how we can apply them. All right. So let's look at the 5 again. Self-awareness, self-regulation. All this invisible, tak nampak kan? It's something that you work within you. Motivation, empathy, social skill. Social skill is when you display, all right, your emotions and everything else in this social skill. Okay, and then we're going to look at case study and also best practices, all right? Okay, self-awareness. Identify triggers, okay? When you talk about self-awareness, right, it's about recognizing your emotion to respond, not to react, all right? Okay, faham tak? To respond and not to react, okay? React ni kadang we can get defensive, all right? It is to respond. So what we need to do, we need to identify triggers, recognize emotional cues before they escalate into poor decision or reactive behavior. Yang tadi awal tadi ada yang cakap try to run pura-pura busy. That's one way to do it if you have to. Alright. Ada apa tips lain Any other tips, guys? That's interesting. For me, since I manage a person, I have to take a breather first and try to hold on to my sanity as long as I can. Because the moment things come out from her mouth, it's going to be like, oh my God. Okay, ataupun I just avoid any engagement if I can and try to, talk as a team. Okay, tapi orang ni kadang dia banyak mulut tau. Okay, so these are your triggers lah. Alright, so recognize your emotional cues before they escalate into poor decision ataupun reactive behavior. Alright, next one. If you have any other tips, please share. Alright, reflect regularly. This is also very important. Use tools like journaling. Anyone here does journaling or not? Check-ins. Check-in bukan check-in hotel. Checking in is asking about, especially when it comes to your team, right? Ask how are they doing. Okay, it's just a 2 seconds thing. Kan? Especially when you see that they're a bit moody, a bit down, they're just not themselves. So check in and ask if they're okay. If not, ask them if there's anything you can do. Okay, but guys, checking in doesn't mean that you have to be a part of the problem. Please do not be a part of the problem. You don't want to go there. Okay, checking in is to tell them that if you need anything, I'll be there to give you support. It could even be a shoulder to cry on, all right? So guys, please remember, don't be a part of the problem, okay? Ataupun feedback to deepen awareness of patterns, all right? What normally I do when we are really busy, back to back, I will start very early. I will start to cycle around the resort. Being in the greens, being in nature helps me to kind of reset and have clarity in my mind and keep me relaxed. So I will start like 2 hours early. Okay, especially kalau nak cycle janganlah tunggu panas-panas kan. Alright, to be like 7:30 or 7 in the morning. I just go around and then I will go and check on breakfast and then start chatting on my guests. Okay, that's checking in as well. Yeah. Alright, lead by example. Self-aware leaders, you set the tone for emotional maturity and accountability in teams. When you show that you are accountable for your actions, the team will start to mirror your actions. Okay, so you must remember as a leader, you lead by example. Okay, you're the role model. All right, let's go to the next one. Self-regulation. Self-regulation in high pressure moments. This is staying centered in the chaos of hospitality, right? Control emotional responses. Okay, how do you do that? How you do that is by you pause first before you react to guest complaint. Sometimes when you're facing the guest, it's tough, because you have to control your body language. You have to control your facial expression. When you know already this person like Karen kan, like very jadi suka buat kecoh kan, okay? You need to control your emotion, your physical, your cues, your body language, everything. When you smile, dalam hati you macam like, oh, dia ni lagi, like all that sometimes if you tak control, it will start showing in your face. You don't want to get there. You don't want to get caught there, okay? So you need to pause before reacting to guest complaint or if there's delays ataupun team errors. The thing about hoteliers is that they are very good at this. They are very good at controlling and disguising their emotion. Okay. All right. If you're new to the industry, you will get there. Don't worry. Okay. Those days I used to say, we are hoteliers, we're very thick skin. Don't worry about it. So you guys can say anything, but we won't feel so much lah. Okay. All right. Next one is using calming techniques. How do we do that? Normally it's just deep breathing lah, and then you start reframing. Okay, reframing on how you approach things. And what is my um, reframing on the negatives into positive, all right? And you must remember, self-regulation, yeah, is not about being emotionless, all right? It's about choosing how you respond consciously. Remember, self-regulation is not about being emotionless, yeah? We don't want to go there, okay? Because remember, I said we want to have human connection, and at the same time, we want to have self connection on how to deal with all this very stress and chaos situation, right? So, using the calming techniques, you will use deep breathing, reframing, you have time out to reduce stress, and also model composure, okay? Sometimes if need be, you can always excuse yourself, but not when the guest is shouting, guys. Okay, settle that first and say, okay, would you like to have a seat, or maybe you would like to wait in the room or the coffee house, whatever lah. Get creative, or the lobby lounge. Uh, I will look into it and get back to you. Please give me 15 minutes. All right. Or if you need slightly more time, tell them. Jangan too long lah. Too long, you start triggering dia punya, dissatisfaction. So give reasonable time. And that's when you walk away, you clear your mind and come back. Okay. All right. Last but not least, shape team energy. All right. So when you demonstrate control, right, it will have a ripple effect on your team. Okay, so the regulated leader creates emotional safety, productivity, and big chaos. Okay, yes, we know when the chaos happen, there's no way to say, wait, tunggu sekejap, cop, tak ada. When it happens, it just happens. You just need to ride, okay, to ride the waves, but ride the waves in style, okay. All right. So your team will definitely mirror your energy, your vibes, your emotion. They will start to mirror. So if you stay calm, they will also mirror that because they know, yes, everything is so chaos around us and we're just still sailing smoothly. All right. Okay. But normally not so smooth lah. But the moment you stay calm, a lot of good things happens. Yeah. All right, motivation, leading with purpose and energy. How you drive performance in the service crunch. So you lead with vision. All right, motivated leaders articulate uh, purpose beyond task execution. All right, they connect to work. They connect work to values. Okay. Model grit and positivity. What is grit? Anyone know what is grit or not? All right. Model energy, resilience, positivity. What is grit? Anyone here can tell me what is grit? Anyone? In Malay, Malay. What is grit? Grit can be patience. No, sorry, yes, passion, perseverance towards long-term goals. Yes. Okay, thank you, Nitya and Anne. All right. Okay, so model grit and positivity is demonstrating optimism, persistence, uplift morale during peak times. Okay, do you have a boss when it is really already peak, it is already like chaos, diorang jadi lagi kelang kabut? Ada tak? Do you have this kind of boss or not? That's you, alamak and okay, time to work on your self-regulation. Okay, you guys ada tak? Or are you in that mood? I was in that mood. When it started to be chaos, I thought, like you go fast means you're actually doing it smoother, but actually you're creating chaos among your team. Okay, I was there before. All right, in the end, I learned, okay, relax, cool, chill. All right, anyone else? You ada tak that boss or you yourself is going through this phase? Dina, I had a boss like that before. Okay, when you had a boss like that before, when it is the busiest time in the world, all hell break loose, how do you feel? How do you feel? Do you want to unmute? Geram. Okay, geram satu. Bila kalut kan, macam yang you nak buat ni tak kena, you nak buat tu tak kena, you pegang ni tak kena kan. It's like, whatever you do every day is so wrong. Because it's just like, baru you nak langkah setapai, why you going there? Why you, you know? So, sometimes when you micromanage pun, this happens, yeah? Alright. So, you want to quit, huh? Yeah, true also. Stress tau, okay? Okay, the thing about stress, I realize that when the situation becomes young age, biasalah young age dia darah panas kan, darah muda. I realized that when I went through those phase, right, when everything like so kelang kabut, I start getting this you know behind your neck macam like tiba-tiba like panas. Then I know okay, I need to pause, take a breather, take a break, and just detach sekejap and cool down because I know my temperature I think akan go up. So basically, you know how your body will react to situation like that. Okay, so that's where you self-regulate. All right. Okay, recognize contribution. This is also very important. Authentic praise, sincerely, okay. Bagi pujian-pujian tu sincerely, because this will fuel emotional resilience and staff engagement. All right. Sometimes praising effort in real time is also very important. Celebrating small win. Nak celebrate ni tak perlulah sampai nak kena buat dekat apa nama hall, you know, kompang-kompang semua tak payah, you know. Sometimes in the group, WhatsApp group, you just give a emoji, you know, that very celebrative emoji, and then you know you have to link your team effort because this helps to deepen guest satisfaction. Because we also not just about wins, sometimes commitment. When you see how committed they are in overcoming challenges, especially in busy days, they need to be applauded for their commitment as well. All right. Okay, empathy. Empathy is human connection, emotion kan. All right, so listen actively. So empathy is turning into emotions in service. It is understanding what guests and teams feel. All right. So listen actively is by giving your full attention, open body language, and emotional acknowledgement. Because all these actions, will deepen trust. All right. But the moment you turn away looking at your phone and then your phone like berdering-dering a million times and people are there trying to share their problems with you and you just like disconnected. So all this is not going to end well. You won't be able to extend the empathy. Okay. So validate emotion. Yeah. All right. Guests and staff feel seen and heard when their emotions are recognized. Okay. Not dismissed. But you must remember emotional, when you talk about empathy, right? It is the emotional glue of hospitality or even the service industry, okay? And they connect intentionally to impact, right? Because it is how we connect to another person, okay? And always remember that validating doesn't mean you agree, but it is more of recognizing the feeling, all right, to ensure that they feel seen, they feel heard, and they feel heard is didengari, all right, and they feel that the emotions are being recognized. Okay. Okay, last but not least is adapting responsively. Okay, so you adjust communication and service based on the emotional cues. This is for better outcome. Sometimes when you are observant, right? Sometimes you can observe how a person behavior change and you can anticipate what's next. All right. So if you train yourself to do this, to anticipate what's next, you'll be able to tackle the problem even before it happens. All right. Okay, social skills is building relationship that lasts. All right. So communication, collaboration, and also connection happens in social skills. All right. And social skills, they're not just charisma, it's actually empathy plus action. And this is like tailored to the real time. you are taking action, connection in real time, all right? It's not something that you practice before. It's not something like, you have a template and follow, but it's actually you responding in real time. All right. And this is something visible because you're displaying your action. Right. So under social skills, communicate clearly. Emotional intelligent leaders use assertive, but respectful. Right. Respectful communication under pressure. Sometimes, sometimes people say you need to mirror the guest, but when they're angry, you do not mirror the guest. Jangan dia punya tone naik, you punya pun naik. Lepas tu, you start boxing dah, okay? So have a respectful communication, stay calm, set your tone clear, be assertive. Um, I have owner before. Sometimes we have those, acah-acah lawyer, when they come to the counter, oh, this rule lah, apa law lah, ini law lah, and they start being loud, they start shouting. On that day, my owner is on the desk, okay? Her name is Tengku Karina. Okay, when she say, she warning now, dia owner kan. She said lah, you better behave before I throw you out. I don't care who the hell you are. If this is how you behave, I'm going to throw you out from the resort. So I was there like, yes, yes. Okay. So sometimes you have to be assertive. But as an owner, they can say anything. But when we work for the owner, we need to lapik sikit lah. We need to be respectful in our communication. I have another owner, ini gangster sikit tau. Somebody actually came through his resort because kita not gated tau. And then start harassing the guests. So we went and look at the CCTV. Then I finished my work lah. I finished my shift. I dah balik. Malam tu he saw that guy, just passing through. He went and blasa that guy, jadi case police. But then police saw him. Tak apalah, cik betul. Okay lah. So I was like, oh man, this guy. So this guy is like super gangster. Like nobody wants to cross his path, like you will sure get it from him. Okay, but these are owners lah, right? So they own the property, they own the land. So tak apalah, itu dia punya right. But for us, when we work for others, tolong jangan jadi gangster. Be respectful in communication because we have to be the better person from the other one. All right. Okay. In the hotel or service industry, it's not easy to maintain your sanity. But when you start to practice and doing it over and over again, start to regulate your emotion, you will be able to get there. All right. Because if you are the leader, your team needs you. Your team needs you to be there, that person who will be in control. Okay. All right. So foster team rapport, regular check-ins, and positive feedback. Feedback loops, boost trust and cohesion. Okay. Enhance guest experience. Personalized, emotionally aware interactions will lead to higher satisfaction and loyalty. Okay. So externally, when you talk about emotional and intelligence service, right? They will create delight. Okay. They will create an environment which is positive, that everyone is not just happy, but then are happy enough to tackle that chaotic day, that busy day, that super peak day, because they know that they can rely on you to be that person who are always in control, right? Kadang-kadang orang expect kita in control, but if we cannot control, then how? So tak. Okay, let's pause for a quick reflection. Now, answer in the chat box, okay? Which of the 5 emotional intelligence pillars do you rely on most in your role? Here are the options: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Please type in the chat box, which of the 5 emotional intelligence pillars do you rely on most in your role? Self-awareness. Okay, good. Thank you, Peggy. Empathy, and all right. And where are you from? Are you together with Nitya ke? Self-regulation, Nazrin. Dina, motivation. Nilai. Which industry are you in? And Aizudi motivation. All right. Keep the chat going. Education, I see. Nilai. Nilai College or what else in Nilai? Nila. Oh, is that new? I'm actually very impressed with Nilai, you know. Last end of last year, formally. Oh, okay, okay. You had this very fantastic team building, Manipal University. All right, okay, got it. I'm very impressed with Nilai. I went there accidentally. I took a train, commuter to go back to Bangi. Okay, I was supposed to get down in Kajang. Then I thought they actually going to the next station, but they're not. It's an express train that goes straight to Nilai. So I said, oh my God. I took a Grab back, and that's when I went into Nilai. I was very impressed because it is actually very well developed. I think I went there like over 10 years ago. So there's I think a huge development there. It become I would say Nilai is apa nama a university town kind of thing that is so modern. You know, you have all this, yeah, edu hub, correct. Okay, so I was very impressed with Nilai. All right, so learning from the result. So regardless which level that you are at or which pillar you're at, you identify your collective strengths and opportunities for growth. If you're working this in a group, identify each other's um, pillars that you rely most in your role, and then collectively you work out on the strength and what are the opportunities. Katalah each one of each of these is good. So when a situation changes, you know, okay, this person they're very high in social skill. Let's put him in front or something like that, right? So you can still work on your surrounding that way. But it is good to be able to control all of it. Okay. All right. Let me go back. Motivation, Azuddin, motivation dinner, self-regulation, Nazrin. Nazrin, what do you do, Nazrin? Yang lain ada tak? You guys. We have 18 of us. How about the rest? Which 5 emotional intelligence pillars that you rely most in your role or in your daily? Duty manager where? Duty manager challenging tak? People count on you. Ni like superhero lah. Resort hotel location? KL. No, kalau resort maybe outside. KL, okay. Alright, duty manager. What are your challenges? Because you are working on self-regulation. What are your challenges as a duty manager? Sometimes you can work on yourself, but at the end of the day, I still feel this is my personal opinion, yeah, guys. Um, the management have to be supportive as well because they are also creating that environment. We can create for us going downwards. Yes, we create that safe space because we need it. Correct, Nitya, all 5 is needed. Okay, but having to be controlling the staff. Okay, ni different generation kan? Okay, controlling the staff. Okay, arrest my case. Dah, tutup kedai. Okay, no doubt you need to control, not to control, you need to face the guest, but yes, you also need to control the staff. Okay. All right, let's look at Crown Plaza case study, how emotional intelligence became into the picture. Yeah? How they boost service score through intelligence, emotional intelligence. All right, the challenge. Okay, the challenge they had was that they identify emotional disconnect as a barrier to guest satisfaction. So the staff having these problems, so the guests dissatisfied with the service. Yelah, kalau you are emotionally disconnected, memang service is out lah kan. Okay. So what they did was they had EI training program. Okay. They underwent a targeted EI coaching. Sometimes when it comes to these issues, right, If you ask me, training and coaching will give a longer term result, all right? Because they are being taken care at each stages. Training can be done as an awareness overall, get some action planning, blah, blah, blah. But if you can get 1% or 2% within the team to help to coach, that would be much more effective because you are going through a series of self-awareness, self-regulate. You want to have to build the empathy, you want to build this, develop this among the team. It's going to take time. So even mentoring is going to work as well. Okay. So staff underwent targeted EI coaching, empathy, listening, and also stress control. Sometimes if you cannot control stress, this is also going to affect your emotion. Okay. All right. So the result out of all these actions that they took, the service score rose 4 to 5%, and emotional connection became the brand strength. All right. So any organization can take that step to improve. But sometimes, Rome is not built in a day, right? So you can go in stages. Work on what is collectively, this is a strength. Work on that first and then move to the next one. They work in phases, it's okay. It's better to do that and not do anything at all. Okay. All right. Emotional labor in your team. Where does emotional intelligence show up most? You can share in the chat box as well. Uh, let's reflect on your role. Okay, your respective role. Which service role in your team require most emotional effort and why? I had a post recently on emotional labor. Okay, the one with the sunset ni gambar. I came across this team, this housekeeping team. When I read the review, it was pretty bad. But finally, they say, oh, that was last time lah. Now it's better. Okay, fine. But when I first read the review, even before meeting the team, right? First thing that came to my mind, sometimes it's easy to say the staff is not doing the work. Okay, especially housekeeping lah. When you talk about cleanliness, But then again, what came to my mind was that are they giving the right tools? Are they giving the right number of, not the right lah, I mean the realistic number of rooms to complete in a day? Are they given a proper training? Are they given, there's a lot of, sometimes they also need support from the management. So what is not there in that whole equation? So finally, when I met them, right, when I spoke to them, normally I will casually ask. But Dorani, when I ask, what are your challenges? Oh, no challenge, everything good. Salah kan. But then when I said, okay, in one shift, kalau macam foreigner ni, they will do 12-hour shift kan. Okay, 12-hour shift. I said, how many rooms do you do? They said, okay, 12 hours, they will do about 24 rooms, 23 to 24 rooms. Then suddenly I saw in his eyes that, he's just exhausted. And not just him, there's a few of them. I can't human connection kan. And then he said sometimes when they're very busy, they actually do up to 32 rooms. And I said, kalau 32 room, you're not human. Because the room size is 33 square meter. It's big. I would say it's big for a normal hotel. And they say sometimes they even miss the off day during the week because they're just running back to back. You imagine running back to back 32 rooms every day. Your body will crack, man. I mean, that's not human. Okay. So yeah, I can see that they are really exhausted and I hope something is done, like I said, because they're not also given the proper tools. If you ask me personally, they're not even given proper tools to do the job. They're using a lot more unnecessary, unnecessary processes that will add burden to the team. Okay, that's my personal point of view. All right, in your own respective role, which service role in your team that require most emotional effort and why? Anybody wants to share? Next, identify pressure points. Okay, from my story, the pressure point is, I would say, unrealistic room assignment to do in a day. Um, what else? Tools and support. Okay, expectation from an owner is high, but then they're not given proper support lah, I would say. Okay, so you must identify the pressure points. Okay, from there you will see where do your team members struggle emotionally during shift and guest interaction. Maybe you look at it as, oh, kalau ada group datang, you nampak dia stress lain macam. Okay, what happened? Is it because not prepared ataupun she comes in between shift? You know, all those things have to be taken into the picture, right? Next, explore support options. What system or strategies can help reduce emotional exhaustion? Okay, sometimes it's not just physical exhaustion. Emotional exhaustion is even worse. All right. Those who are not able to cope can even go into depression. Okay. So, okay. So these are the some of the things that you can do among your team where you can reflect on your role, where you can identify pressure points and you can explore support options. For me, if you ask me, it's okay to start small, start even with small groups, start one pillar to another, but at the end of the day is to start somewhere, right? Guys, anything else you want to add here? Let's look at best practice, normalize emotional check-in. Okay. So what do you do here? You start team huddles with brief mood scans ataupun gratitude rounds. So you can do this first thing when when they come in for the shift, all right? Either morning or afternoon shift. So start this first 2 minutes. Just ask them how are they feeling today. If you see someone just not themselves that day, just you don't have to throw in the question in front of other friends or work colleagues. You can always pull them aside and say, "You okay? Are you feeling okay? If you're not well, please let me know." Or they're going into sometimes they're going into difficult maybe family problems and things like that. But the very least, let them know that you're there for them. Okay, but remember, don't be a part of the problem. Okay, guys. So normalize emotional check-in. Okay, if you have supervisors, let them apply the same thing. So let it escalate downward. Even work colleagues among themselves can also do emotional check-ins as well. That means, they take care of each other. Okay, kita jaga kita. All right, next, model reflective leadership. Okay, share your own lesson from stressful shift. Sometimes it's good to share your own experience. Then they know that, oh, dia pun macam tu juga lah. So they know it's normal to go through that phase. All right. Because sometimes if you're able to build vulnerability, you actually build trust as well. Okay. So it's okay to say that there are some days you are just like shit as well, just like them. All right. Okay. Number 3, practice feedback loops. All right. Yeah, some staff follow trend, correct? Okay, ask for ataupun offer feedback with empathy, clarity, and follow through. When giving feedback, right, feedback is good to be given real time. Okay, tetapi not to embarrass, but be constructive that they will perceive it as a positive feedback. All right, because you must remember, emotional intelligence is built. Okay, it's not something that just happened out of thin air. Okay, it is built. Yeah? And when you can apply this, right, it will build a stronger relationship among the team members. And then when you are in the face of chaos, everybody will got each other's back. Okay. So what you want to do is create a safe space. And when you ask for ataupun offer feedback, it should be conversational. Okay. Not monologue macam you interrogate orang. Okay. Uh, it's okay. It's good if your team asks feedback frequently. That means they are very concerned about and they're committed in what they do and they're very dedicated in the job. And for you, as a leader, you find the right words to motivate them and inspire them. Okay, don't kill the spirit. All right. Anybody else want to add best practice? These are actionable strategies for EI leadership. Yeah, a couple of things that works. For me, what works best is the emotional check-in. Okay. What I usually do, right? if I need to speak to the staff on that level of to give feedback, I will tell them, busy tak? Jom pergi lepak je. So I will take them to the coffee house. Just sit down. Normally I tell them I want to meet them. Semua dah, everything in the head, like, alamak, I buat silap apa. So I start, of course, the sandwich feedback lah. You start good, and then what they can improve, and how we work. If we can work together, then it's good lah. Some are not ready to receive feedback and become defensive instead of thinking about how to improve. Correct. Sometimes that's why I say it's about how we apply empathy in that conversation, how we show that we are very concerned. And yes, there are people like that. But sometimes did you come across some people when they talk about others who tak ada filter tau. Okay, and it's very hurtful. But when it comes to giving them feedback the same way, mesti number one defensive, and then sentak, and then leave group. Okay, this sort of person, kalau boleh cari orang yang kesabaran sangat tinggi, yang boleh layan that flow. Okay, but they need to learn to actually, people like this, how I went through it is like doing it over and over again, just trying to open up the mindset that everybody does this, and this is how we're going to do it. Okay. Sometimes when it comes like overly stretched, when you're really stretched thin, sometimes you have to be really firm with them. Okay. Tak suka lah. Because it's just their behavior. Tak mengata orang walau. Alright, are we ready for Kahoot, guys? Are we ready for Kahoot? Okay, those who have just joined, I'm going to share the link again for your attendance. And also you can join Kahoot. Can I put my hand up? Okay, are you guys ready? Okay. All right. I think question is senang-senang kot. Kot. All right, guys. Okay, game pin is 9900401. Daus, welcome. Zafran. Suhaimi, Miel. Aizuddin, Siti. Tengok siapa pula dah take the podium today. Nitya, KitKat. Nas. All right, we have 9. Chandra. There's 19 of us. We'll wait another probably 2 minutes, Ken. All right, NG is in. 11. Probably another 6. E is in. Kolishi. E, NG, Nitya, KitKat, Fatin. All right, we have 12. Maybe 4 more. Another minute to go before we start. Another minute. Okay, 30 seconds. All right. Okay, ready. Let's start. Okay, how to lead with emotional intelligence in hospitality. Right, question number 1. True or false? Emotional intelligence is only about managing your own emotion. True or false? Well, laju ya. Steady you are. Okay, false. Bukan. Alright, Siti leading, Nas, me, Chandra, and E. Alright, let's go to the next one. Question number 2. Which of the following is not one of Daniel Goleman's 5 pillars of emotional intelligence? Self-awareness, empathy, delegation, self-regulation. Wah, you all cepat, huh? Correct, delegation. Delegation bukan, tak masuk tajuk. Alright, Nas leading, Siti, Daus, EE, and KitKat. Wah, E, your number cantik ah. 18888 lah. 1899 pun cantik. Alright, next, true and false. A leader with high emotional intelligence is more likely to resolve conflicts calmly and effectively. True or false? Oh, laju. Question so easy, is it? Okay, true. Alright, next. Fatih has the highest answer streak. Siti leading. Siti belum dengan Nas Daus, EE, and Cats. Alright, question number 4. Why is emotional intelligence critical in hospitality leadership? 1. Enhances guest interaction and team morale. Improve emotional storytelling. Help leaders stay connected. Replace technical skill. Oh, ni lama. Alright, okay. Majority of you got it right. Enhances guest interaction and team morale. Alright, let's look at their position. Oh, EE dah naik. KitKat and Nas leading. Siti and Daus. Alright, last question, guys. True and false. Using emotional intelligence can help you coach a demotivated team member more effectively. True or false? Wow. True. Alright, let's look at the podium. Number 3. Congratulations, number 2. And number 1. KitKat naik. Alright, congratulations. Wow, you are so fast, ah. Kena buat soalan susah sikit lah, ladies. Okay, let's continue. Okay, would it help you guys if we go through the 5 pillars, looking at how we can bridge generation gap within your team members? Boleh tak? You think that will help? Yes, no? Adakah? Yes, okay. I'm just going to show you a slide. This one I don't have the slide now, it's discussion. So please share your thoughts as well. Maybe your challenges when going through different generation within your team. Okay. All right. This is before we go to module 3. Okay. For example, let's talk about self-awareness, because we understand that different generations have different upbringings, right? And the upbringing will actually shape their values. Correct or not? Okay. So how you apply self-awareness? First, leader and team members must reflect on their own biases and assumptions towards other age groups. Sometimes we say, ini generation strawberry, okay? So we need to start to reframe and look at them positively, okay? For example, Gen X manager may believe that Gen Z lacks of commitment, okay? Self-awareness will help them question whether, am I viewing this from a narrow lens? Okay. What is good about Gen Z? Is there any Gen Z here or not? Gen Z is very talented, no? It's just how you unlock that potential. Any Gen Z here, guys? Probably you share with me, which generation are you from? I rasa majority is millennial and Gen Y kot. Please share with me in the chat box, which generation are you from? Ada Gen Z tak sini? Gen Z, they want more clarity when you ask them to do something. They will appreciate it if you give more frequent feedback so that they can improve. And they are actually committed in the role. It's just how we approach them, okay? Of course, in any generation, there's also good and bad lah. Okay. So across industries, any industry, self-awareness leads to better intergenerational collaboration by understanding each generation punya own triggers and also leadership style. Um, Baby boomers ada dia punya the pros and cons, sama juga Gen X, but the modern ones, millennials onwards, Gen Z, they offer different commitment level. Okay, they are still committed in the job, they're still dedicated. It's just how they go about it tak sama dengan from us, from a different generation. Let's look at self-regulation. Self-regulation is how you respond, not react. Remember? Okay. So sometimes where your work style clash, tension may arise. Okay, there may be conflict, there may be some friction kat situ. For example, this one is really my own previous work. Owner, I nak kata owner from baby boomers dah juga. Dia Gen X, lebih kurang I punya umur je. Tetapi she wants us to travel just to FaceTime dengan dia, face-to-face meeting for 1 hour. And sometimes when we arrive there, you know, like we all travel from everywhere, right? We arrive there, they cancel last minute because she has something else to do, you know? They prefer face-to-face. Where else, when the other generation, younger generation, they prefer digital sync work, right? But for hotel industry, you cannot really work remotely. But sometimes if you want to have meeting, you can always have them remotely, especially when you need to travel far, right? But I do have bosses, Gen X. They say, okay, let's just go a quick check-in. They will do a lot of check-in. So I appreciate that a lot. So I guess it's all about mindset. It's all about how you want to adapt and be flexible enough within the team. Okay. So sometimes when you talk about response, you can always reframe your negative reaction. For example, they don't care about the job. When you start putting that in your mind, you're going to see all the bad things about them. But start looking at the strength, how they can complement the team. Okay, so that is self-regulation, right? Motivation. When you talk about motivation, purpose over perks, what drives Gen X? Gen X, they look for job security. And this differ with Gen Z. Gen Z, they look for meaning and flexibility. Sometimes Gen Z, dia ni kadang-kadang ada juga a group of them yang macam activist tau. So, katalah they want to work with that hotel or resort, they look at how this resort play their role for the environment, contoh. What are the CSR that they contribute to the community? And these are the things that will attract Gen Z. Okay, they are built differently, Gen Z. But that does not mean that they're not good. Those are the strengths, and we need to start tapping on the strength in order to benefit us as well. Okay. In hospitality, when you talk about Gen Y, Gen Y may stay loyal when offered growth paths, laluan, career growth, in tech or consulting. But then when you talk about Gen Z, they may commit longer with creative autonomy ataupun wellness incentive. We know that Gen Z, they look for a well-balanced, well-balanced work life kan. But then when you talk about work balance, each individual have different perception and different work balance in their own perspective. Yeah? Okay. Empathy, listen with intent and not assumption. So each generation brings a different life experience and pressure. Okay. I would understand that because I come from Gen X and we go through all the generation, and I have been privileged enough to go into different generation at each different zone in the hotel industry. So I've seen changes, and I would say that with an open mindset, I managed to adapt and managed to grow the team within that zone, within that generation zone. Yeah. So, for example, Gen Z may face anxiety in speaking up. You know, they're not, when it comes to social skill, because Gen Z, they are being produced during COVID, where isolation is the thing. Okay. So for them to have human connection is tough. So sometimes they face anxiety when speaking up. So for us, the elder generation, yeah, maybe Gen X or Gen Y, we can always um apa nama, not push lah. We can always encourage them, be empathized by their challenges and help them pull through that difficult time. Okay. So industries like customer service, F&B, where teamwork is essential, empathy diffuses misunderstanding, and it will create a safe communication spaces. Finally, if you look at social skill, right, ability to communicate across age group is actually superpower. If you are individual from whichever generation and you can tackle all this level, baby boomer, Gen X, Gen Y, millennials, or Gen Z, you have the superpower to tackle anything, right? Because it's not just about starting now, because you will have guests from different generation as well, and their needs is also different, their preference also different. Okay, so if you have this ability to communicate across ages, my friend, you have a superpower. Okay, and how we apply is that you need to apply or facilitate reverse mentoring for Gen Z, because um, maybe Gen Z is lack in communication, but they're really good in tech savvy tools. So learn from them, be humble enough to learn from them. At the same time, we exchange. Okay, so you can facilitate reverse mentoring. Okay, uh, so you share your leadership with them, and they share their tech savvy too. When you start sharing, it will start to ease that blurry lines of who's more powerful, who's more champion and all that lah. Okay. When I group different generation together in one room, right? Because one of the manufacturing they had problems with the team members. Okay, they were like working in silos. So what happens that I make different generation like, okay, this one Gen X, okay, tell me what are your challenges. Make the younger generation, you understand what they're going through? Okay, now they understand. They need to see how the other generation is going through the phase of doing the work, and to be able to understand that will actually open their mind that, oh, okay, why they're being pushed so hard, because supervisor are always being pushed and kicked around by the top management, for example lah kan. Okay. So we want them to understand each other's level, what they're going through, and what are the challenges at that level as well. Okay. So all this will help to remove that, misunderstanding and miscommunication among generations. All right. Okay. Does this help you guys or not to apply in your own zone? All right, let's go to module 3, emotional intelligence section, scenario-based challenges. And then let's work on development plan, your self-assessment, your strategies checklist that you can use EI daily. And also we wrap up with the commitment pledge. Okay, if you have anything to add, just add in the chat box. I will read them from time to time, yeah? Okay, let's look at scenario 1, handling a frustrated guest. Apply emotional intelligence to diffuse tension and also rebuild trust. Okay, step 1, pause and listen. Active listening, okay, pause and listen. Show that you care, you're very concerned, and let the guests express themselves without interruption. I made this mistake before. Oh, nak tunjuk pandai kan, keep on interrupting. Okay, silly mistake lah, right? But we learn. Okay, so pause, listen, and listen beyond words. Look for emotional cues. If you ask me to do sale virtually, or to just send email, I am like, I cannot gauge, I cannot connect. I prefer to meet face to face. Then I understand what you need. I can give you suggestion or solution and how we can go about it. Okay. But if from far virtual ni, I tak boleh nampak, I tak boleh bayang. So that's tough for me lah. Okay. All right, step 2 is empathize sincerely. All right, so acknowledge their frustration. Okay, tell them that you understand. Okay, and mirror back their emotion to validate their experience. Okay, to validate what they're going through. Okay. All right, so when you mirror back, set your tone. Okay, ingat cakap, okay, set your tone, go slow, okay, talk in a slower pace, clearly, with clarity. Okay, need be, you need to clarify back again if you're not sure of what they're trying to tell you, okay. Step 3, you can also solve collaboratively. First, you offer a few solutions and choices that you can do within your scope and involve the guest in resolution to restore agency. Sometimes it's good to get them involved as well so that sometimes their ideas pun boleh pakai juga tau. Okay, and you can always use this to other guests in the future. Okay, kalau you are able to solve collaboratively or ataupun they accept a solution, that's even better. Alright, so this is scenario 1. Scenario 2 is coaching a demotivated staff ataupun employee. How you use AI to reignite purpose and performance. Number 1, start with curiosity. Okay, don't pandai-pandai assumption lah, ingat ah. Okay, begin with open-ended questions to explore root causes of disengagement. Right, start with curiosity, then you acknowledge dia punya emotion. How you do that? By validating their employees' feelings. Maybe you can try this on that person yang very defensive tu kan. Okay, try to validate the employees' feeling without judgment because you want to build the psychological safety. Okay. Last, you align and inspire. Right, connect their role to bigger goal and also reaffirm their value to the team. Ya, I tengok orang defensif ni kan, kalau you puji dia kan, dia punya action tu lain macam tau. Right? Okay, let's look at scenario 3, delivering constructive feedback with emotional intelligence. How you apply clarity, compassion, and also growth. All right. First, choose the right moment. Okay. Pick a private and calm setting to foster openness and reduce defensiveness. All right. Sometimes a person is very defensive is a long journey to work on. Okay. If you want to take that task, I will applaud you for your effort and commitment and dedication. But once you are able to get into the head, the person is really yours. Okay. All right. So lead with observation. Okay. So describe behavior factually. Okay. Don't go personal. Describe behavior factually that you express there's impact to that negative behavior. Okay. And avoid judgment. Sometimes we tend, orang kita tak suka ni kan, sometimes tak boleh control lah. We tend to go into personal aspect of that person. Okay. But please lead with observation, describe behavior based on facts. All right. And tell them this is going to be the impact, the negative impact or the outcome based because of that behavior. All right. And with growth is involved team member in solution building. Maybe tanya, how can we go about, sometimes nak tunjuk lah, bagi chance sikit tunjuk dia pandai kan. How can we go about this lah? Cuba dia bagi idea how. Dia pun buat lah fikir kan. Jadi nak dengar dia punya self-awareness tu. Okay. And then support for improvement. Okay, whatever the suggestion, whatever the outcome is, please give your utmost support for improvement. Alright. So this is self-assessment. How you identify your EI growth area. You reflect on your daily interaction. So when do emotions help or hinder your leadership and communication? Ada tak certain time yang it's just not happening? Okay. Then choose one domain, one of the pillars too. Pick the pillar where improvement could boost your impact. For example, one of you said tadi, self-regulation. Was it Nazri? Right? Commit to awareness. Okay, monitor this area. Katalah you select self-regulation, so you monitor this area in daily tasks. And if you work in a team, you seek feedback to track your progress. All right, so you can do this as well. Okay, daily strategy, making emotional a habit, not a theory. You must remember, emotional intelligence is something you work within you, right? You connect yourself, right? So you want to make this a habit, not just something you learn now and then that's it lah. Tutup buku, tutup kedai, finish. All right, make it a habit. And you won't regret it because it's going to benefit you in the long run. Okay. All right. You'll be able to tackle anything in the world. Okay. Reflect briefly after shift on emotional triggers and reaction. I do this a lot as well. Of course, I don't journal lah. Alamak. Sometimes what you can do, just take a phone. You can record yourself, do video with apa. Just talk to your thoughts and see what are the triggers and reaction for the day. And then you tengok lah, 1 week tu on the weekend ke kan, sambil minum-minum kopi, you tengok balik lah the video. Alright, and then you akan tengok there are changes and improvement for that whole week that you're working on yourself, right? Because if you can write, it's even better. Okay, nak write ke, nak lukis ke, whatever, to share your thought is even better. But I don't want to put something yang ala leceh lah nak tulis, nak buku lah itu. If you have your phone, you want to video, go ahead and do it. Okay. Practice mindful pausing. This is also very important. I've done this as well. So use short breath work, get a breather, break during stress to stay grounded. Okay, there's a lot of ways to do it. Find your healing spot, okay, and use that to recover. Okay, work can be stressful. You cannot avoid them, but it's how you go around it. Right? Ask for feedback. Invite peers to share how your emotions affect the team climate. Okay, this one, kalau you boleh buat Johari window, you can actually, maybe I can share here. Well, I try to share here in the chat box. Are you guys still here with me? Johari window, there's work. The worksheet too is here. Okay. Okay, these are the words you can share with people close to you. It can be few lah, your friend, close friend that know you. It could be your team members. Let them pick up 5 words, 5 to 6 words, 5 words that when they look at you, these are how they feel about you. Okay, you must do the same for yourself. Look at the words and pick up 5 words that reflect you. And then you start to map. Betul lah. How come they look at me this way? Because when you talk about Johari window, right? If you are in a house, you look out the window, what is the view that you get? Faham tak? But from outside, that people look in, what is the view? So kalau you look out, if that's your neighbor's house, the tree, the garden, whatever, that is your view. But from the same window, but from a different position, if the person look inside, they will see maybe your living room, maybe your sofa, your whatever, maybe your curtain, kan? So perspective berbeza from where you stand. So Johari window will help you to see how people view you. What is the perspective? When you talk about Dina, okay, Dina pergi kat kawan dia bagi. Your friend and your work colleague will give you different words tau. Okay, so be prepared lah. Don't get defensive. Look at it as a self-awareness, something to work on. From there, you can work on your self-regulation. Okay, I did this. There are certain words they use. I'm like, ya ke? Ada impress pun ada juga lah. But I know, oh, okay, these are some pointers that I can work on myself to improve further. Okay, so be open lah. Alright. That is first day. Dia ada banyak level tau. Okay. Then there is a worksheet where you can plot in. You can always Google this as well. How you not apply this. That would be a different story lah. Okay. So maybe this can help you to work on your EI as well. Alright. Oh, ada worksheet. The same. Okay, let's go to the next slide. All right, so this is your commitment. 1 AI action to start now. All right, so turning insight to impact. How are you going to impact your being your existence at the workplace, whether you're a leader, whether you're a supervisor, whether you're a manager, how. Okay, so what you do is you choose one EI behavior, all right, specific practice that you start using this week. Okay, and remember, pause before reacting. Okay, write it down, put it in writing, because this helps to boost accountability. Kalau you have the same person in this session with you, tag what buddy system, and say, you know what, I want to work on this, and then start to check-ins on each other. Okay. Share it publicly. Ni kalau you nak declare pun boleh juga lah kan, right? So declare your pledge to appear team member for support and momentum. You can also do this. You can also do this as a work project, which is going to be very interesting as well. All right, that's all from me. Nak tengok worksheet ni share apa. That's all from me. You can screenshot. That's my contact number. Oh, okay, the second one I shared was the same one. Okay, lah. Okay. All right. Also, please post a review to our profile. Okay, and if you're on LinkedIn, I'm happy to connect. I do write posts as well on a lot of things. I'm quite active, I would say. And hopefully there's a lot of learning we can do together. And if you need anything else, please DM me. Nithya, if you can DM me, or my number is here. 6950. Silap. Sorry guys. Sat. Number silap. Do you have any question? Kita nak ambil gambar ya, please. 6958. Astaghfirullahaladzim. Do you have any questions? You want anything to add? Anything you want to share? Yes, I know you have challenges with human working around you. Sometimes it's very tricky as well. But if you have a micromanage owner, it's even going to be a nightmare. Sometimes for me, what is worthwhile, okay? You don't really long enough to go through all the drama. All right, okay, that's my contact number, 647-6958-012. Email, can screenshot. Can we on the camera? If you don't have any questions, can we on the camera? We are already past 8 minutes. All right, on the camera so we can take photo. Hi, Anne. Orang lain tak nak ambil gambar ke? Hi, Dina. Dina dah ambil attendance, Hi, Azudin.
Sudah.
Okay. I babak you nanti. Alright, hi Peggy. 18, I'll be outstation. Hopefully the line is okay, but being KL lah, so should be okay kot. Alright. Okay, anyone else? Angie, hi Angie. Kolishi, Cik Suhaimi, Zafran, Nithya, Afifa, Chandra. You guys want to on? Takiuddin, Firdaus. Hi Nithya. All right, I'll be sending, if you're joining the last session, PC just in, yes. The last session is on 10 customer complaints and how to turn them into a loyal customer. That is on the 18th, which is Wednesday. I have more than 100, but normally only 60% will actually attend. So the quota is 100. I will be sharing the link tomorrow and also a reminder on 18 morning. So first come, first serve lah. So I don't have any extra session. That is our last session for NTW under MAPS training. So I thank you guys so much. So let's take photo before I do first. All right, okay, ready? Give me your sweetest smile. 1, 2, and 3. Sat. Hold on, hold on. Okay, ready? One, two, and three. Ah, right. Okay, one more time. Freestyle. You're welcome, Zafran. Hold on, hold on. Okay, freestyle. Let's do a mini love. One, two, and three. All right. Okay, we're done for the night. Thank you so much. I think I mentioned in previous session that I'll be going through your attendance and your listing again, and hopefully I'll be able to give some training voucher, free voucher, for you to join our session again in the future for public training. But I'll get back to you guys on how we're going to do that, lah, okay? Because the list is just endless. Yeah. All right, you're welcome. Okay, thank you so much for spending tonight. Sorry, we exceeded like 11 minutes. Okay, I hope you guys learned something. Please apply. If not, I sedih tau. Okay. Cik Suhaimi, you okay? Tonight you're a bit quiet. All right, have a good night, everyone. See you when I see you. Make sure semua dah letak attendance. All right, you're welcome. Have a good night.